we had begun the discussion on discounts. And I think we mentioned about single stage discounts and multiple stage discounts. So we should now today have a question number 3 in our handout. And the question states that the manager of a large sports shop open for 50 weeks each year holds a regular stock of quality golf balls. Although the manager has to purchase boxes of these golf balls at 9.6 per box containing 12 balls, he is prepared to sell these balls as single items. Over the past year, he has sold on average 12 boxes of golf balls each week, and it is likely that this level of sales will continue into the future. Due to telephone, secretarial, and transport costs, it is estimated that the cost of receiving each order is shillings 16. The annual cost of storage is estimated at 20% of the stock item value and is based on the cost of storage space and the company's cost of capital. The manager of the shop sets a price for his goods by taking the sum of the purchase cost and the appropriately allocated stock holding cost, that is storage and delivery, and then applying a markup of 50%. You are required to determine the optimal number of boxes of golf balls the sports shop manager should order at a time and the number of orders per year. So we begin by computing optimal order size. Optimal order size. That's what we begin. Optimal order size, and we say the formula is EOQ is 2RS out of H. You get the square root. That is the formula of getting the optimal order. So we need to identify those things. Let's start by identifying R. The annual demand. We say R represents the annual demand. Now we are told on average he sells 12 boxes a week. And we are also told the year is 50 weeks. So 12 times 50 is how many boxes? 600 boxes. 600 boxes. And then we identify S. S is the fixed cost per order. Fixed cost per order. The fixed cost per order, we are told it is 16 shillings. Is shillings 16. And then we identify H, the holding costs. The H to the same as should be greater than or equal to CI. So this then will be equal to C is 1 box. 1 box is going for 9.6. And the cost of capital is 20%. So 0.2. They are not mentioning anything else about the holding cost. So that means the holding cost will be how much? Per unit? 1.92. 1.92. So with that now, it is possible to get our Q as 2 times 600 times S, which is 16. You divide by 1.92. $100 boxes. 100 boxes. 100 boxes. Then they're asking us to get the number of orders per year. So the number of orders, N is equal to R out of Q. R out of Q. So R is 600. You divide by 100. That gives us 6. So you are going to order 6 times in the year. 6 times in the year. And then we are told that the supplier offers a discount of 4% on the purchase, on the price of each box of golf balls. The manager is prepared to purchase 500 boxes at a time. It can be assumed that there are no price effects on demand. Show whether or not this discount, assuming it is passed on, is advantageous to the customer in terms of shop price. What percentage discount is required for the order quantity of 500 boxes to be beneficial to the shop customer? So that is the case of a single discount. You can see it is just one. Just one. Okay. So the first thing is to get the total costs. The total costs. Now total cost, TC, we say it is given as R times C plus R out of Q times S plus Q out of 2 times H. Without discounts, without discount, C is 9.6. C is 9.6. Q is 100. Q is 100. And H, we had gotten 1.9. Those are the items that normally change when there is a discount. So total costs will then be 600 multiplied by 9.6 plus 600 you divide by 100 multiplied by S. S we had gotten 16 plus 100 you divide by 2 multiplied by 1.92. Nine, 52, 52. 59, 52. Good. That is now the cost with the discount. Sorry, without the discount. Now with discounts, first of all, D is, we are told it is what? 4%. D is 4%. So C will be 9.6 multiplied by 1 minus 0.04. 1 minus 0.04. We have 9.216. Then the next thing that you need to know is Q. If you look at the formula of computing Q, it is affected by H, but we do not change H, rather we don't change Q. What we do, we go by the policy. The policy says you just buy what? 500 boxes. Buy 500 boxes so that you qualify. Then, when it comes to H, it will be 9.216. 9.216 multiplied by the cost of capital, which is 0.2. We have 1.8432. So now we can be able to get our total costs as 600 multiplied by 9.216 plus 600, you divide by 100 times, not 100. You divide by 500 times 16 plus 500, you divide by 2 multiplied by 1.8432. You have 6,009.6. 6,009.6.
Somebody may confuse the 500. Okay, I may confuse it for 500. What makes it? Is it because they are saying 500 boxes at a time?
Yes. If you look at the definition of EOQ,
Yes.
you whether you wrote that.
I did.
A good summary of what we wrote. The definition of EOQ.
Units that can be ordered at the most economical cost.
Yes. So EOQ, or the number of units that you buy at a time, EOQ. First of all, Q,
Yes.
but it need not necessarily be the most economical. But when now you use the formula that we have, that's now when they say to be the most economical. So now we are looking at, if we decide now tutakuwa tunanunua 500, we need to be economical at a time, yes. And now we can make the comment, because you can see when we take the discount, the total cost has gone up. So the question had asked us, is it advantageous? Is it advantageous? So we will say the discount is not advantageous. The discount is not advantageous. Discount is not advantageous. It's not advantageous since it makes the total cost to increase. So we make that comment that the discount is not advantageous since it is making the total cost to increase. It will be advantageous if total cost with discount. Total cost with discount will be less than total cost without the discount. Then down there you say let D to represent the discount. D to represent the discount. Then C will be, naona venye tulifanya hapa 9.6 times 1 minus the discount. So we do the same thing. It will be 9.6 multiplied by 1 minus D. So this opens up as 9.6 minus 9.6 D. H, or first of all, Q still remains 500 boxes. H will now be 9.6 minus 9.6D. You multiply by 0.2. You multiply by 0.2. So this becomes 1.92 minus 1.92D. So if that is the case, then we say at cost indifference point. At cost indifference point. At cost indifference point. Indifference is a point at which the options that you are comparing are equal. They are equally good. If we take our costs with discount, we will then say it is 600 boxes. You multiply by 9.6 minus 9.6D. That's times C, yeah? Plus 600, you divide by 100, not 100, 500. Our Q is 500. Multiply by 16. Plus 500, you divide by 2, multiply by H, which is 1.92 minus 1.92D. Now, this one, if they are to be equal, we already know the cost of without discount. Equal 59.52. Yes. 59.52. So from there, solve and give me the value of D. Solve for the poly and give me the value of D. So what have you gotten as B? Zero point? At 0 point something? Or even in percent? It should be 0.049. It should be around 0.4. Huh? 0.0492. 0492, which is 4.92%. So the discount, thus, discount should be greater than 4.92%. If they want it to be beneficial to us, it must be greater than 4.92. So I suggest on your own, you handle that. The question that follows that one, that is question number 4. I suggest you handle December 2014. December 2014, question 4A. December 2014, question 4A. Let us go to the next, that is question number 5. Question number 5, inasema, a manufacturer uses 3,300 grams of a certain chemical per year. Delivery costs incurred per order are shillings 40, and inventory carrying costs are estimated to be 30% of stock value. The normal cost per gram is shillings 22, but the supplier offers discount of 1.5% on orders for 500 grams or more, and 3% on orders for 1,000 grams or more. You are required to determine the order quantity of the manufacturer should adopt. Now, you can see in that question, there are more than one discounts. There are more than one discounts. There are more than one discounts. And if there are more than one discounts, that one now is called multiple discounts. So multiple discounts, it is handled in a tabular way. The first column, we call it price break. We call it price break. We call it price break. Now the price break, we are told the normal cost per gram is 22, but the supplier offers discount of 1.5 for 500 grams or more. That means if you buy between 1 and 4.99, the price that will be charged, the price will be 22. But for the uniformity with the others, this one I want us to multiply by 1 minus 0. That is the discount, which gives us what? 22. So the first one, there is no discount. I'm putting it that way so that Fanani and the others that will follow. The other thing that you need to do, we call it computed EOQ. Computed EOQ. Computed EOQ. We already know the formula of the EOQ. So we are going to say it is 2 times R. The annual demand is 3,300. 3,300 multiplied by S. The fixed cost per order is 40. You divide by the carrying cost. The carrying cost is 30%. So 0.3 of 22. You get the square root. Get the square root of that. What's the answer? 200. So if it is 200, the last column is called comment. It's called comment. Now in the comment, we look at where this one is. You see this one, in this range, this one, it is within. It is within, so that is the comment that you make, and therefore you say use Q as 200. When you are within, you evaluate the computed EOQ. So the next one is between 500 and 999. Meambiwa, you will enjoy a discount of 1.5. So this is what you shall do. Look here, because I want to move up for 1 minute. 0.015. So you will get your price hapo, the new price. Alafu ukikuja hapa, utasema 2 times that 300 times 40. You divide by 0.3 times ile price utakuwa umepata. You get the square root. Umeona? So you copy this, get the new price here. Your price yenye utapata, ulete hapa, you get the EOQ. Then I will be back. So give me this. You have gotten the EOQ 202. Now, if you have gotten 202, it is below. Now that it's below this.
But it was a point.
But you should always round it up, even if there's a 0.1. Whatever the case, it is below this. So if it is below December, you use the lower limit. So we are going to use Q being equal to 500. We are going to use Q being equal to 500. Higher. 1,000 and above. You have done the same thing. Okay. So 1,000 and above, it is 22. You multiply by 1 minus. The discount is 3%, so 0.03. So that has given you a price of what? 21.34. So this now becomes 2 times 3,300 multiplied by 40. You divide by 0.3 multiplied by 21.34. Ukapata 204. So 204, you can as well see that it is below. It is still below. And if it is below, you use Q as the lower limit. So we are going to use Q as 1,000. When it's more than 200. This one. Okay, so what are we comparing? You see, for you to say something is below, below is a comparative word. As in umeangalia vitu vingi. So kitu ya kwanza si hii ama hii. Hiyo ingine ya pili tunaangalia ni gani? Ndio tuseme it is below, above or beneath. This break. Sasa hii naona hii ya 200 iko hapa ndani, iko between this and this. So ndio tulisema it is within. If it is, sijui kama tuliandika hiyo maneno. Do you like that? If it is within, it was step number 2. If it is within, you use the computed EOQ. Then here 200, we are not comparing it with this one. We are comparing with this. Now I come below 500. Then this one. If you found, tuseme kama hapa, umepata 1200. Angalia hapa kidogo, because we don't have such. Tuseme hii imetoka ikiwa 1200. You see it is above this. So if it is above, you ignore. Because practically, the meaning is, if you buy between 1 and 499, you unauziwa what? 49, unauziwa 22 shillings. Lakini ukipitisha hapo bei inabadilika. We are okay at that point. Now kutoka hapo, you compute the total costs. We can have the price, and then we now compute the total costs. So let's start with the price of 22. I think I need to add another column. Although not very. We go share the total cost. Okay. It's not very important. So now, tukiwa kwa 22, we may recommend that we are going to use 200. So our total cost, the formula which we had earlier, it is R. So it is 3,300 times the price of 22 plus R 3,000 or 3,300. 3,300. You divide by Q. Q is 200. Multiply by the fixed cost per order, which is 40, plus 200. You divide by 2. Multiplied by H is 0.3, multiplied by 22. Multiplied by 22. Multiplied by 22. Hmm? 3,920. Okay, let's come to the price of hii tulikuwa tumepata ngapi? Hii ya pili 0.67. So at the price of 21.67, it will be that 300 multiplied by 21.67 plus that 300. Hapo tumesema now we are using 500 multiplied by 40 plus 500. You divide by 2, multiplied by 0.3, multiplied by 21.67. Mhm. Yeah. 192.5. It's not correct. Those who are online also said your figures. Sharin, Yusuf, someone else who is struggling to join. $70. 3,400.25. Hiyo ingine ni 21.34. This is that 300 times 21.34 plus that 300 you divide by 1,000 multiply by 40 plus 1,000 you divide by 2 multiplied by 0.3 multiplied by 21.34. $73,755. Advice. Now the advice is based on this total cost here, whereby you pick the minimum. The minimum of those is 73,400. This one. And therefore, we shall advise them that optimal order size is 500 units. The advice is that optimal order size is 500 units at a price of 21.67. Optimal order size is 500 units at a price of on your own, you shall handle question number 6. Question number 6. There's a question here I should have given you earlier. I've just seen it. You can also note it. September 2015. September 2015, question 2B. 2015, question 2B. I should have given you when we began. Na ingine natafuta iko na discount, nimeiona ndio hii ya naitwaje? Hii ni ya May 2015. May 2015, question 5A. May 2015, question 5A. May 2015, question 5A. So you try those ones. Hiyo ingine that we are supposed to cover is called economic batch quantity model. That's now the next one. Economic batch quantity, that is EBQ model. Economic batch quantity model. So we write that this is used by manufacturing companies. To determine EBQ for durable goods. By manufacturing companies to determine EBQ for durable goods. First up, EBQ is the number of units that can be manufactured at the most economical cost. At the most economical cost. At a time. At the most economical cost at a time. First up. This model is similar to EOQ model. Except some few names. So in the EOQ that we studied last time, I told you it is used by trading companies. Now a company is called a trader if they buy a product like this one and they sell it to the customer in the very same way they bought it. They don't subject the product to a value changing process. For example, in a school like this one, when you come to the gate here and the security guy asks for your details, then he releases you to come to class. That security guy is a trader. The same way he received you is the same way he has forwarded you to me. No value addition. But myself here, I am a manufacturer. The way I received you at the beginning of the lesson is not the way I will release you at the end of the lesson. I am subjecting you to a value changing what? Process. So Those who manufacture, they use EPQ. Those who purchase and sell, they use what? EOQ. But you can find in some companies, the two models being used at the same time. Because even those who manufacture, they also buy. Yeah, so they also have to do the EOQ. Yeah. The other thing that we have said is that this model is very similar to EOQ, but there are few words that are used, and we shall mention them as we work out a question. So we don't need to take a lot of time there. So let's go to this question, that is question number 7. Question number 7. It says that a company has an annual demand of 10,000 units and works for 200 days. Production is 125 units per day, each costing shillings 80. The cost of capital is 20%, while fixed cost per setup is 3,000. Required EBQ analysis. Now, if they ask you to do EBQ analysis, EBQ analysis, there are several things that you need to compute. One of them is optimal batch size. That's the first thing, optimal batch size. Optimal batch size. Now, the optimal batch size, EBQ, is computed as 2RS. You divide by 1 minus U out of P. You multiply by H. You get the square root. So that's the first difference that you can see. So these are, it still represents our annual demand. It still represents our annual demand. So at least for this question, I look at the names, because in the notes we have not written like we did for the EOQ. I want to do two things in one. So the annual demand, we are told it is what? 10,000 what? Units. 10,000 units. S, it represents something we call fixed cost per setup. Fixed cost per setup. Now, a setup is the beginning of a production process. The beginning. When you are beginning production process, there are some costs that are incurred. You see, in a school like this one, our setup is the beginning of a semester. When we are beginning the semester, the school incurs cost. Even you as a customer, you incur cost. And the cost, one of the costs you incur for setting up is the failure to report to school on the first day. When you did not report to school on the first day, and you have reported later on, I think it's only Fatuma who reported the first day. All of you have come much later. But despite that, you are still paying the same school fees. So it's a loss to you. Now your loss, it came because you are starting. To start something is not very easy. Ulikuwa unasema wamefungua tutaenda next week. Ngoja watasoma sana tutaenda the other week. Finally sasa ukakuja. And when you began, now it becomes very easy to attend. So in this question, the fixed cost per setup, we are told it is what?
3,000.
It is 3,000 shillings. It is shillings 3,000. We go to usage. U. Now this is usage rate. Usage rate. And usage rate, it is for the whole year, you can see we are using what? 10,000. And we are working for how many days? 200 days. So that is what? The answer? 50 units per day. Eh? 50 units per day. That is the usage rate. 50 units per day. We need to get P. Now this is production rate. This is production rate. Production rate. Now that one is already mentioned. Eh? It is 125 units per day. It's 25 units per day. Now there is something here I would like you to note, that this P and U must always be expressed within the same time interval. Not only per day. Yeah, I'm a work per week, I'm a per month. They should be within the same time frame. Because there are some questions you may come across which have expressed them in terms of different measures of time. Yeah. The other thing that you also need to note is that P should be greater than U. P should be greater than U. If it is greater, tukirudi hapa kwa hii formula, this will be a fraction. It will be something 0 point something. So when you subtract it from 1, haitakuwa 0. But if they are equal, this now will be 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. 0 times this, it becomes 0. And then a number divided by 0, it becomes infinite. So hiyo swali haiwezi fanyika. So in case upate P and U, they are equal. In case upate P and U, they are equal, you just use the normal formula U. So unaacha kuweka hii. Sawa. Unaacha kuweka hii. So it goes back to the normal U. Haya. Yes. Si itakuwa 1 out of 1. So sasa hii 300 out of 300 is 1. Sasa 1 minus 1 is 0. So imeharibu kila kitu. So ukiona hivyo, sasa unatoa hii kasemi, unabakisha tu hii. Tunaona tukitoa hii tumerudi kwa ile formula ya UQ. Yes, any number multiplied by 0 is 0. Unatoa hii iko kwa brackets. Yorudi kwa formula ya UQ. Umeelewa? Ukiangalia formula ya UQ, hatukuwa tunaweka hii iko kwa brackets. Tulikuwa tuna hicho. Haya, tunaendelea. Sasa tushapata hizo, sasa tunaenda tutafuta H. H is unit carrying cost. Unit carrying cost. And this one again we normally say is greater than or equal to CI. And because we are introducing, we can come back here and still say, first of all, I have already told you and you have written that the models are similar except a few words. Now the first two words that already we have noted, naona kwa hiyo Q tulikuwa tunasema cost per order. Fixed cost per order. Sasa hapa tunasema cost per setup. That's the first new word. Kule kwa hiyo Q tulikuwa tunasema holding cost. Sasa tunaita carrying. But these words, they can be used interchangeably. Si lazima ati ukiwa kwa EBQ you just call it carrying. Na ukiwa kwa UQ you just call it holding. You can use any word anywhere. Actually, as a matter of fact, you can see the question we have handled in question 5. You see that was EOQ, but it has the word carry. Can you see 40 and inventory carry? Yes. So si kumaanisha ati ukiwa kwa EBQ lazima utumie hii maneno. No, you can use any. Bora the formulas are okay. Haya. C is unit variable production costs. unit variable production cost, which in this question we are told it is what? Shillings 80. That is now another term. Tukiwa kwa hiyo Q huwa tunaongea about purchase cost. Sasa hapa tunaongea about what? Production. Yeah. About production. I is cost of capital, that remains cost of capital. So cost of capital here, it is 20%. Cost of capital is 20%. And with that now, we can be able to get our H as 0.2 times 80. That gives us 16. That gives us 16. So with that now, we can get our Q as 2 times 10,000 multiplied by the fixed cost, which is 3,000. Now the whole of this, you say 1 minus U was 50, which is divided by 125. Then you multiply by 16. So solve that. No matter how many units? 2,500 units. So those are the units you should produce at a time. Is it the same as? Yes, the formula is slightly similar. Yeah. The second thing that you should know how to compute when they ask you about EPQ analysis is annual number of setups. Annual number of setups. And setups is normally represented by N. Annual number of setups. Now this one is just like we had in the EOQ. N is equals to R out of Q. So this will be 10,000. You divide by 2,500. And that should be 4. Eh? That should be 4. The third thing is duration of a production run. duration of a production run. Production run is a period that you are doing production. Like now, in a school like this one, our production run is our semester. So how long is our semester? So this one, duration D is given as P. Sorry. Is given as Q, you divide by P. Q, you divide by P. So this one, we are going to have 2500. Our P3 is 125. That is now 20 days. Because tumesema in a production run tunataka to produce 2500 units na kila siku tunatengeneza 125. So itabidi tufanye kazi how many days? That is 20. So that after 20 days we have our 2500. Haya, kuna kitu kingine we normally call break between production runs. Between production runs. Kama shule kama hii, ile holiday tunaidanga, how long should it be? I'm sure you see in factories people working for like 3 months continuously. Unasikia 2 weeks amuko kazi, ama 1 month amuko job, utarudi after. So what guides those periods? The break in between. So if you are looking for that break, B, it is given as P minus U, you multiply by D, then you divide by U. So this will be 125 minus 50, you multiply by 20, alafu na divide na U. U is 50. So that is 30 days. I want to explain kidogo. Now here, assume in the beginning of the production, the beginning of one time. That is D0 or D1. Tumesema tukianza kazi tutakimbia for 20 days. So utakuja hapa itakuwa 20. Tusimame sababu ya hii 20 hapa. Mama, we take a break that will take us 30 days. So by the time tunakuja kuanza, it is 50, 20 plus 30. Then tukimbie for another 20 days. By the time tunakuja kusimama, it is what? 70. Tupumzike for another 30 days. We start. Tukianza tunaanza at what? 100. Tukimbie for 20 days. So tutasimama at what? 120. Tusimame for another 30 days. So tukuja tuanze at ikiwa 100 and what? 50. Tukimbie for 20 days. Hiyo iko imefika 100 and what? 70. Then tupumzike for another 30 days. Hiyo itakuwa imefika what? See, we are working for 200 days. So mwaka yetu itakuwa imeisha hivyo. So we said we have 4 setups. The 4 setups are this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the 4 setups. And the break. Is it making sense? Starting anything and stopping anything is not very easy. Is it like when you joined my class? If you remember, most likely you are struggling understanding what I'm saying or coping with my teaching methodology. Chances are the first lesson or 2 lessons you did not get to understand. Now that is part of cost because you lost, you had paid. Sasa tunafika mahali tumezoeana. Sasa unaanza kunielewa. Unajua Kimani anaongeanga hivi, anapenda mambo ifanywe hivi. Sasa tunazoeana. Tunakuwa sasa marafiki hivyo. Then towards the end of the lesson or towards the end of the semester uangalie kumbuke kuangalia. Kuna kafiri utaanza kusikia. Sasa sitakuwa nafunzwa na Kimani tena. Sasa tunaachana. That kafiri is also part of cost. Maybe that one may not bring it out so well, but look at the case of a relationship between a man and a lady. It is not very easy to start. At least men should know that. It's not very easy to start to approach a lady. You waste a lot of time and energy and money before you finally say what you want. Ikubaliwa mnakaa vizuri. In case sasa itafika muachane, is it very easy? See, people cry. So sasa hizo za kuanza na kusimamisha, they are the ones we call the setup cost. Okay. The last thing that you need to compute is now what Fatima you're asking, total costs. So total costs is given as R times C plus R out of Q times S plus Q out of 2 times H times 1 minus U out of P. So this now becomes 10,000 multiplied by 80 plus 10,000, you divide by 2,500 times 3,000, the cost per setup, plus 2,500, you divide by 2, multiplied by H equals to what? 16, multiplied by 1 minus U. U is 50. And B is 125. B is 125. $824,000. So the 824,000 is the total cost. So I would suggest that you do the same with question 8. And question 9, although question 9 iko na an element of non-routine decision. So hiyo utaachana nayo, attempt is something we need to cover in another topic, which we have not. So just do question 8. Here seen as one year past paper. It is really examined. Really examined. But same here is same here, that's why I have taught you. So if you are okay with that, we now discuss what the course outline is calling stochastic inventory models. Stochastic. Some people will call them probabilistic. Probabilistic inventory controls models. So what you are dealing with was deterministic. And I told you deterministic is when variables remain constant. And we write that these are models used. These are models used in situations where the factors that affect inventory costs, are random variables. That is, they can change and may not be estimated with reasonable degree of accuracy, and they may not be estimated with reasonable degree of accuracy. Stop. Of great concern are demand and lead time. Of great concern are demand and lead time. Since when they change, they create inevitable increase. They create inevitable increase in holding and shortage costs. Inevitable increase in holding and shortage costs. There are two methods used There are two methods used. One is called permitted shortages. Permitted shortages. In Roman 2, safety stock. Safety stock. If you remember what we said at the deterministic, maybe I can draw a graph to illustrate. Help me explain well. Now, if you look at a graph like this, first of all, it is called stock levels. And you can see the lines have grown, they are very straight. That tells you it is certain, we are very sure. That's why they are very straight. And it works like this. If this is 0 and here we have time, this one is called minimum stock. This one is called reorder level. And this one is called maximum. Now this one is called the demand. And this one is the queue. Here to compute. This space here, it represents the lead time. I gave you some assumptions. And before I discuss that, let's assume that our queue is 20 units and our minimum is 10, and therefore the maximum is that 10 plus 20 is 30. And then this one, I can say this is 20 also. So 20, that's 10, I say this is 5. Let me take that to be 5. So that my demand will be 2. The meaning of the assumptions that I gave you, one of them was demand is well known in advance and does not change. Hiyo ni kumaanisha ukifungua duka yako asubuhi, you are very sure I will only get 3 customers. And for sure, by the close of business in the evening, only 3 customers will have come. Not more, not less. And that is now what we are saying. If we are here at 20, and after 5 days, tutakuwa tumefika 10, ni kumaanisha tumetumia 10. So 10 divided by 5 is the one that is giving us what? The other thing is, tulisema lead time is constant and well known. That means, tukipigia our supplier simu, tumwambie atuletee those goods on Monday morning, that guy will actually deliver on Monday morning. And that has been his tradition, Abadikangi. So we are very sure, Monday morning at 9, misigo imefika. That's now why we call, or what we call, constancy of lead time. Now, if that is so, then we do not need to keep the minimum stock. Because one of the assumptions we saw hapo is that holding cost is directly proportional to the number of units you keep. So if I know today I will only get 2 customers for my milk from a kiosk seller, Why should I stock more than 2 packets? I only need to stock what? 2. Because only 2 customers will come. So I don't need stock. So if I don't need stock, then sasa hii inatoka. Ikishatoka, now this becomes 0, this is 10, and this now becomes 20. So that nikishapewa by 10, every day I'm getting 10 guys, zinaisha hapa. Na immediately zikiisha tu hivyo, ninaletewa. As in the last customer akishanunua akiondoka, supplier anakuja. Ninapewa mizigo yangu. So that now the next customer akuja. So in that case, no customer will ever miss anything from my shop. That's the reason why kwa hizo mahesabu tumekuwa tukifanya in the total cost equation, we have only been computing 3 elements. Tumekuwa tukicompute purchase, the holding, and the ordering. But tukikumbuka where we began, I told you there are 4. There is also the shortage cost. So we have not been computing the shortage because in the deterministic, we think that we are sure. So there is no shortage. But now, in reality, there are 3 possibilities. The possibility is what you expect will be the actual. For sure. The second possibility is the expected is greater than actual. But only 1 has come. So kuna closing stock. The expected is less than actual. Ulitarajia watu wawili, but 4 customers have come. So kuna wawili wamekosa. So this one creates what we call holding costs because mizigo imebaki. Hii nayo ina create what we call shortage costs. Sasa kwa ile equation yenye tulikuwa na 3 elements, sasa ukiongezea hii total cost inaenda juu. So we must then now know how do we deal with that. And in dealing with this, it becomes very tricky because these costs, you see, we have called them inevitable. Let me ask you this. If you don't want your money to be stolen in this class, I'm not saying it can. What is the surest way of ensuring that your money does not disappear?
You leave it at home.
The surest way is to leave it at home. Don't come with it here. We are talking of cash. So investor come kidogo cash. The surest way that your money cannot be stolen is you leave it at home. Now, if you leave it at home, ukuje bila pesa tawe. Are you likely to suffer? As in you umehitaji kitu na huna pesa, lakini pesa iko kwa nyumba. Are you likely to suffer?
Yes.
Yes. So you have avoided the holding cost. Theft is a type of holding cost. So ume avoid holding cost, but na wewe umeji-expose to shortages. Unaweza kanyaga nyanya ya mtu kwa soko. Utalipa na nini? On the other side, ukijiambia mimi I will never miss anything that I like. Nikitembea kwa streets hivyo nione kitu mzuri, I will always buy. And there are guys who do like that. I don't know that you have seen them. Ailiko akilipo wanaenda wanatoa mshahara yote inaanga kwa wallet. Hata ukimuomba change na kufungulia na hesabu. Nakwambia I don't carry those small monies. So yeye naye ameassure himself he will never incur shortage cost. Anytime money is needed, he has it. But now I may be exposed to holding what? Because your pesa inaweza potea, inaweza ibiwa. So when you look at it that way, as you run away from holding, you are simply running towards shortage. As you run away from shortage, you are running towards holding. That's why to make it what? Inevitable. Inevitable huwezi avoid. So as a business person, you have 3 possibilities. One, or rather, let me put them as 2. One, uamue utakaa kwa extremes. Extremes means you will never incur holding, so you suffer shortage. Or you will never incur shortage, you suffer. Hiyo ingine uchezee hapa katikati. Kidogo hapa, kidogo hapa. So you hear of the language of the lesser devil. All of them are devils, so you balance. Kama hasa kwa siasa naulizwa where we are safe. We are not safe anywhere. Sasa nituangalie where we are. I hope I'm not misquoted. But I think I have explained my point. So the method that we have to is to make permitted shortages. One, permitted shortages, I don't want to discuss it because it's not a part of your syllabus. It used to be there, but I don't want to take your time for things that are not in the exams. It is where you just choose. Kwa hii kampuni yangu, I will operate without stocks. I will be ordering as customers come. For example, if you sell cars, chances are you may not stock when the Japan ulete magari weke kwa yard. Kuna watu wanafanya hivyo, but there is also a big number that does not do that. Sasa wewe unaenda ukijimarket kwa your customers, customer akikupea order, unachukua down payment ama you use your own money, sasa ndio unatumana gari. Unamwambia hiyo gari unataka nitakuletea in the next 2 weeks or in the next one. So if the customer is ready to wait, then unaitisha hiyo gari, ikifika tu hivyo una process, unapea customer. That's a case of short permitted what shortages. But that one only applies where number one, the customer is willing to wait. Like now hiyo kitu ya magari, mtu akinunua gari, chances are very high the person will be willing to wait because a car is not something that is cheap. And it's not something you're buying today to sell tomorrow. Number two, there must be competition. Sorry, there must be no competition. There must be no competition. You can imagine if you came to Destiny ukalipa your school fees, hoping that unaanza class immediately. Wakwambia asante sana, tumepata your money. But now, ukuje on 29 of September, utaanza kufunza. What would you have said? Utadai pesa yako haraka sana. Give me my money. What is encouraging you to ask for refund is the knowledge that kuna other colleges that are offering the same. Actually, in a span of less than an hour, ukishapata your refund, you'll be in a class somewhere. Si kama star, they are just our neighbors here. Yeah. 2 minutes, you are in a school. What if you go to Kenya Power, applying for power to be connected to your house? And the fellows tell you tumepokea your documents, they are in order. Lakini kulingana na utaratibu wetu, hiyo area yenu tutakuja huko mwezi wa 6 2023. Do you ask for refund? That's why you just say, I have noted, and you go home and you start praying to your God that they come a little bit early. But where did I pesa? If you have no choice. And actually on that, I need to say this, even in our normal interactions with people, make sure the people who need you, you have people who need you. Yes, yes, there are people who need you, even you need me. You need me, that's why you have come. And I have other people in many other areas that need me, even you. Now, the people that need you, try to put yourself in a level that they cannot easily get another one. If they cannot easily get another one, they will always wait for you. And as they wait for you, you can negotiate for a better pay. But if you are just any other person, they will not wait for you. For example, in my capacity as a teacher serving you, I should put myself in a level that you will always require Kimani to teach you. Ukisikia kuna mtu mwingine anakuja, unasema hapana, kama Kimani hapatikani the whole of this week, we would rather wait. But if I'm just any other teacher, nasema pia huyo mwingine akuje. You see that? Even where you are, improve yourself in a way that you cannot easily be replaced. As a right state, it's not part of the me. Now my time is over. So Sasa, when we meet next, answer him. Safe.